Farcaster 101 is an educational series brought to you by GM Farcaster in partnership with Snickerdoodle, building off of their State of Farcaster report, which you can access at Snickerdoodle.com. This 12-part series introduces all aspects of the Farcaster ecosystem and helps you get started building your social graph and brand on Farcaster. GM, we are back with Module 2 to walk you through the setting up a Farcaster account. And in Module 1, we kind of went over the basics of what is Farcaster, what's a protocol. So if you missed that and jumped ahead, like many of my students do, you can go back and review that if you want a little more detail on some of the basics. But we're going to jump right in to the next phase of what we're going to be chatting about. And we're going to go through how to get started on Warpcast and walk you through it, including a video walkthrough of setting up your account. So we're going to be setting up your account. We're going to go through the profiles and settings that you'll find on Warpcast. We're going to talk about linking your wallet, your either your Ethereum or Solana wallet. You can link to your account. We'll talk about the Farcaster currency warps and what those can be used for and how you find those and get those. We'll talk about getting your social graph started by following other Farcasters and channels. And also we'll get you sending your first cast. So we're going to start with a video of setting up this account that'll be narrated by Adrian. We'll go through downloading it at Farcaster.xyz, opening Warpcast, creating a new account, entering and verifying your email, paying the protocol fee. We'll talk about what that is, choosing a username, passkeys, notifications, syncing contacts, picking topics, and creating your profile. So let's shift on over to the video that we're going to run through. And Adrian, I'm going to let you take it from here.
All right, so we'll make sure you have access to this video as well. So if you want to follow along and pause, because as we walk through, it'd be great. Bring out your device and actually just do this. And by the end of this video, you'll have a Warpcast or Farcaster account. So you have to start actually not on a desktop, but on a mobile app. So whether it's iPhone, iOS, or Android account, start in the App Store. You're going to download an app called Warpcast. You can link to it if you go to warpcast.com or Farcaster.xyz. We'll have a link to the app that you want to download. So you can start there. Start at Farcaster.xyz. Find the link to the app you're going to download. Once you download it, open the app. It's going to prompt you to create a new account. So you'll click there. It will ask you to enter an email address. So you'll put your email in. It will send you an email, ask you to verify it. Very familiar process flow you're probably used to with other apps. So click through verification. Once your email's been verified, you'll open up the app again. It will ask you to pay for the protocol fee. The protocol fee covers the storage costs for a year. It goes to the protocol, the Farcaster protocol, not to Warpcast, the company, or Warpcast, the client. At the time of this recording, the protocol fee is $5. It used to be more. They're working to make it less expensive. I heard rumors it might go down to $1. Once you do that, your account will be created. It's an on-chain transaction, so it may take longer than a millisecond, but be patient. Once your account is created, we'll ask you to pick a username. So choose the username. Choose wisely. Can't change it later. So in our example, I'm choosing the username Free Compliment. This is a companion to a website called freecompliment.com. But choose your brand name. Once you've done that, it's going to ask you to secure your account with a passkey. Passkeys takes the place of username and password, which you might be familiar with. It is a more secure way of securing accounts. There's a Notion page. We'll add that as well if you want to learn more. But this is what a lot of consumer apps are moving toward because it is much more secure and you'll authenticate like you do in your phone in this one, like with Face ID. So just continue.
And this also makes it
steps.
easier that if you can get access back to your account if you had lost it. Makes it a lot easier to do that.
And then once you've secured your account with a passkey, Warpcast will just ask you whether you want push notifications on, whether you want to connect to your address, if you want to find people you already know, so you can choose whether you want to sync contacts. And then it asks you to pick topics that are interesting to you. This is for the algorithm, so it knows what type of content to serve you. So your choice of what you want to choose. Once you've done that, basic bio information. So what is your display name, which is different than your username, and a brief bio. Very similar if you're using X or Twitter. Basic profile information. It'll ask you to upload a photo. This is your PFP. You'll do that. And once that is done, voila, you're connected now to Warpcast. You've created your Farcaster account. This is what you see in the mobile app, which is just a kind of a default feed without a lot there. And this is what you're seeing here on the screen is what your profile looks like on the mobile page, which it shows you your username, your bio, your display name, your photo, and it tells you this user hasn't created any casts yet. Prof, what is a cast?
A cast is like a tweet or a post on other social media, and it is the way that you communicate to the Farcaster ecosystem. And the casts not only will live on Warpcast, but also on the protocol level. They're served through hubs out to all the other different clients that might be accessing the same information. So when you're casting, you're not only casting to Warpcast, if that's where you first set up your account, but you're also casting to things like Supercast and Wildcard and all these other different clients that are available now. All right, and we're going to move on to showing you this on desktop as well. So we're going to move on. We've set up your account. We're going to continue on desktop and show you how to continue on with going through all the different navigation, including profile and editing your profile, settings, sending your first cast, building your social graph, and linking your wallet or ENS. So Adrienne, we're going to go back over here and show us what we're going to do now.
All right. Yeah, so we're moving to desktop because it's bigger, easier to see. A lot of what I'm showing you, you can continue on the mobile app. But whereas you can't actually sign up without the mobile app, you need to create your account on the mobile app, but now you can move to desktop. So start off at warpcast.com and you're going to log in with phone, and you're going to use the phone you're already logged into that you created. You're going to use QR code. It's going to open up Warpcast. I'm doing this right live, and Warpcast is asking me if this is me actually logging in. And yes, it is. So I'm authenticating with my passkey and my Face ID. And this is what I see as a new user. This is the free complement. There's a default feed. It's showing me based on the information, like the topics I chose. So there's a default feed of content. This is all casts. And then on the left-hand side here.
Before you move on, Adrienne, I want to point out that even if you scroll all the way up to the top where it has your name, your other account, your Adrienne account, you're not following it yet. So if you wanted to follow that account, you can either click on the name or click on the little plus sign within that feed, and it will have you follow the account. So very easy to start building your social graph.
Very ironically, that the first cast, this is me signed in as a new brand account, but very ironically, it showed me my other account, Adrienne's first cast. So yeah, I'll show you that. I'm going to follow Adrienne. So
go follow Adrienne.
That little plus, and now I'm following
Everyone
Adrienne.
should follow Adrienne.
And here's TLDR, and I like Nietzsche, so I'm going to follow TLDR. So why don't we walk
to the profile?
Through?
Yeah, let's go back to the profile and show what that looks like. And that's going to be that little person icon will be your profile.
Second from the bottom, user, and this is showing me now. it's showing you everything we just created on the mobile app. So this is my display name, my username, my bio, my picture. There's a little nice handy edit profile, and we can change our profile stuff. So I can change my display name. I'll call it Get a Free Compliment. I'll change my bio. I'll add my website here. And it also gives you a place to add your location. This is optional. You don't have to do it, but if you do add a location, it makes it very easy to find other users in your location. Very handy if you're traveling, if you're going to conferences. Let's say you're at Eat Denver, you put Denver in your location, you can get access to everyone in Farcaster also at that location. So I'll put in New York and I will save my profile. Okay, and now we're back. Here's your profile. You can see it updated my username, updated my bio. You can also see I'm now following 2 people, which we showed on the feed, but I have no followers yet. So should we walk through the rest of the settings?
Yes, let's go through the settings. And also, when we get back to the main profile, the hamburger menu too, the kebab menu as well. Okay. But first the settings.
So settings,
we've got, we went through the edit profile and then continue on with notifications. So there's a whole bunch of different options to what you may want notifications for, including things that are obviously crypto-centric, like DAO votes and things like that. So if you were a member of a DAO, that might allow you to get some notifications regarding that, as well as your standard things like unread messages. But you'll also see something, channel streaks or nearby. Nearby would relate to location. Channel streaks would be if you have a streak in a channel that you are trying to keep up. So say you want to cast in books every day and share something from a book and you're trying to create a habit, that's a great thing to be able to do. And if you want notifications on that, you would turn that on. And continue on, Adrian. What else we got down there?
Just this is about emails. So whether or not you want Warpcast to email you with recommended users or weekly summaries of what you bookmarked. My recommendation, if you're new to Farcaster, keep all the notifications on. And if it becomes too much, then you can come and kind of trim it down. But
agree. Good idea.
Yeah. And going back to the settings after notifications, this is where you can verify a crypto wallet address. So you can show proof of ownership and it links a crypto wallet that you already own to your Farcaster account. I've done this already with a wallet that I've owned, but you can do multiple wallets as well. You can import several crypto wallets. What this allows also, if you want to set up either direct payments or take advantage of a lot of the crypto native functionality, you're going to want to link an account. So this is, if you're familiar with crypto transactions, this will ask you through a wallet. It'll ask you to connect to a wallet and sign a transaction that shows that you own a certain wallet.
And this is really helpful for there are some monetization within Farcaster. So for example, if you are wanting to pay somebody directly online, there's a pay button. It will use their wallet to do that. And we have different tokens that exist within the ecosystem like DGen and Moxie. And again, that will use that wallet to send those tokens to. There's also NFT minting directly within the feed. So it will often ask you which wallet you want to send that to. So all different options that may come up. So you may want to have a wallet that you like to use, that you currently use, connected with your account.
Yeah, and you can change it later, add later, but definitely take the time to connect a wallet. Next are settings related to direct casts. A direct cast is, again, a cast is just the Farcaster name for any sort of post. So a direct cast is similar to a direct message, or which is just private conversations between individual users. So Nanish Prof and I can create a direct cast, which is a message to each other that other people can't see. You could also do group direct messages as well. So for group chats. And the settings here really are just kind of setting the behavior you want for who do you want to allow to direct message you or direct cast you, send you direct casts, whether it's only people you follow or a little bit wider and more open. The next setting is for actions. There is, and as you can see, there's no actions installed here. There's a link out here to discover actions. This is referring to something called cast actions. I think we will put a pin in this and cover it in detail in a later section. In our first section, we talked a lot about how Farcaster is built with Lego blocks and being very dynamic and interactive. Cast actions are a way to make your feed more interactive and customizable. So no need on day one to understand what this is. Just know that that's there. And then you can manage muted words if you want to control your feed that way, similar to other social networks. So that is the basics of the settings.
Great. Can you go back to the profile and then just click on the little kebab menu to show there's one other area with some settings and some information. So you can either copy your link to profile, or if you click the about, you'll see your Farcaster ID as well as your Farcaster custody address. So your FID or your Farcaster ID is the same regardless of which client you are using. And that's where you would find that information. And then, Adrian, what is your Farcaster custody address?
So when you create your Farcaster account, it spins up a Ethereum wallet, which is actually how you're actually owning your account, which means no one can take it away. This wallet is secured through your passkey. So because you have your Face ID, Warpcast, there's no one else who can take this away. It is a full Ethereum wallet that your Farcaster account is attached to.
So even if you don't attach another wallet to it, you do have one that is built in, and that would be a default. Adrian, let's go through the navigation on the left-hand side just to kind of talk through all the other things. So this is your home feed, and within the home feed, you're going to have home, which is going to be based on an algorithm built for you. You'll have trending, which is going to be what is trending on Farcaster, on Warpcast right now. And you'll see what's happening there. And this is a really good way when you're new to find people to follow as well. Because if they're trending and they have trending casts, they're obviously producing some interesting content that you might find interesting as well. And then you have frames. Frames is we're going to go into detail more in our next module, but frames are sort of embedded additional mini apps almost, if you will. And they have different purposes, but we'll go into detail in our next module, but that's where you can find some that are trending there. And then all channels will show you all the different channels that you are following. But since we are not following any yet, we will return to that when we are. And let's just continue on. What's the next one? Notifications. So these are any notifications that you have based on your settings. So all is going to be anything that's priority. Mentions is going to be anytime you were mentioned, and follows will be new followers that you may have.
Next are direct casts. So this is where we'll send up your private messages, and they'll show up here. Next is the Explore tab, or searching which Warpcast is giving you suggested users to follow. So this is a good place to come if you want to start building your social graph. Dan Ramirez, the founder of Farcaster, seems like a good person to follow. So you can kind of come here and start.
That guy, Ted, he's great.
people.
Oh, I mean, she. Follow Ted. She has good stuff.
And then
she
channels. Yeah, so what are channels?
And channels are different topic-based little areas of Farcaster where content is going to be related to whatever the topic is, or whatever you set up if you're creating your own channel. And we're going to have a whole separate module on channels and creating channels. But for now, what you can do is scroll through and look for things that are interesting to you. Memes is always a good one. It'll bring you some smiles, bring the lulls. And Founders is one of my favorites because it has some great information. If you are an entrepreneur or working on a startup, it has some great insights, always fantastic. And then there's things like fitness and music, and it really things based on your interests. So you may see brands that have their own channels, you may see people that have their own channels, and you may see topic related channels that are a little bit broader. So go through and look for things that look interesting to you and follow them. It will definitely start to improve your feed. And you can always unfollow if something is not interesting or is not what you expected.
All right, so moving down, the next icon is for inviting friends. So this is once you become a Warpcast whiz and you want other people to come, this is where you can send out invites.
When you fall in love and you just want to share it with the world.
The next are bookmarks. So nothing to see here, but if you want to flag a cast for later, and I'll show you what that looks like. On any given, this little icon will allow you to bookmark a cast. And you can refer back to it later. So now when I come to bookmarks, it's going to show me casts that I've saved for later.
And then we have warps. So Adrienne, what are warps?
All right, so warps are an in-app currency that you can use to pay for certain things within Warpcast. Right now, the primary use case for warps is for creating channels. I will say channels are in flux right now, so we'll see. At this point, they cost 2,500 warps. The price of a warp is about one penny per warp, and these are not tokens. The price won't change. They're not meant to be speculative. It's a way for you'll use it. Uses Coinbase Commerce. You can go and buy warps, and there's ways. There's within Warpcast you're going to use it to purchase things. You can also gift warps to someone once you have them. As a way of tipping, if you like someone's cast, there's a way to gift warps. So to a cast. And let's say I see a Yuga.eth. If I ever make it, I will post compulsively. And I think this is worthy of giving someone a 10 warp tip. There's a shortcut here where I can gift 10 warps. Now I don't have any, so it won't work. So I won't do it. And
you can also pay them directly. So if you saw something and you wanted to send them USDC, you could do it there. Or if you had some kind of transaction that you were following up on, you can do it there or from their profile. So either way. And then there's a few other notes here if you want to continue on. Why is this cast here? What does that tell you?
So this is information about why the algorithm is feeding you a certain cast. This is just Warpcast's effort to be more transparent. So the algorithm is not fully a black box. You can give the algorithm feedback. So if you want to see fewer casts like this, it will remember. You can copy a cast hash. That's more for developer information. Report cast if you find something to be fraudulent or spammy or scammy, or you don't, or abusive or any other reasons. You can report a cast. You can mute the user or block a user. So similar types of activities from other social networks.
Great.
All right. Should we create our first cast?
Let's create a cast.
All right.
What are you going to say? I think a hello world is always a good start, but maybe a little more info.
Okay, so I'm casting from freecompliment.com, and I think we can give someone a compliment.
I think that's a great idea. Who are we going to compliment?
Oh, good question. I'm going to compliment you, Nounish Prof.
I thank you. And you did something there where you typed in a user's name and then you were able to tag them. So that will provide a notification if they have notifications on for mentions. It will pop up in their notifications. So that fantastic. And then I can reply back as well when I see that.
When you cast, you can just type something like you would on X or Twitter and hit cast, and it goes to your feed. You can also choose a channel to post this into. So these are the channels probably that I follow, but I can also search and post into other channels as well. I had mentioned we're going to do a deeper dive into channels in a later module because not all channels are open for anyone to post into. Some of them you need membership into, but I'm just going to post this to my home feed. So cast. If I go to my profile page now, it will show that if Prof now opens up her Warpcast, she should see a notification that someone tagged her. And
it's there.
And that'll show up.
It's there, and now I'm going to like it, and I'm going to say thanks.
And could you follow? And can you follow the free compliment account as well? And then once
I am also going to do that.
We'll give a little refresh.
I'm also going to give this compliment some warps. So I just gifted 10 warps as well. And when you refresh, you should see the reply. There we go.
So now I can click in and there's a reply. I can like the reply. My notifications tab alerted up, so I can click there and see that Nounish Prof gifted me 10 warps. That means I now have 10 warps.
And you also see my reply. So, and you'll see the replies to any of your casts as well.
And I can.
So that gives you all the basics, I think. Is there anything we missed, Adrian, that we were going to chat about? I think we hit them all.
That is the basics of, all right. And we covered everything from how to first download your Warpcast mobile app so you can create your account, pay for storage, using the desktop app, signing in, and modifying your profile, getting familiar with all of the settings, learning how to follow people and create your social graph, finding channels to follow so you have content in your feed of topics that are interesting to you, and sending your first cast, as well as how to link a wallet and your so you have that crypto.
Fantastic. And then on our next module, we're going to go through frames, using them and as well as creating them, and going through different use cases, some popular frames, and how to get started there. So we are excited to bring you that next module. If you missed our first one, go back and kind of get those basics. And with this one, you can go through and stop, pause, and really set up your account. And if you are using this and you set up your account, be sure to follow us, tag us, say hello. We'll follow back, and we'll also maybe gift you some warps. So make sure you do that. And that's it for now. We'll see you in module 3. Bye-bye.